very much.
Good evening and welcome to the first show of 2016, the Congo Hour.
Yeah, Happy New Year.
And I'm so glad that Trippy made it here this evening.
I'm glad we both made it.
I was here early, Trippy.
Okay, so let's just start off the new year on a good foot.
Right, so that would have
Getting
been
along,
what?
getting along.
You being
And just
here on time.
forgiving each other.
Why is it always I gotta be the one that
I
forgives?
said each other. I said forgive each
But
other.
it's always me that has to forgive you.
Because ladies first. That's why. Okay. Happy New Year, Wayne.
Happy New Year,
Happy New
Trippy.
Year. Happy New Year, everybody.
Year.
What'd you do?
Nothing.
Nothing? Okay.
What did you do? No, I did. I was at celebrations on
Okay.
New
You guys
Year's
had a
Eve.
I right?
Yeah.
All right. I was at my parents' house with the kids. They had some of their friends over, and we had a ball.
How many people did you have?
It was all their friends, so
Right.
about 20 of them. About 20 of their like Morgan's friends, Max's friends, Mason's
Did
friends.
you and your mom stay up?
Yeah.
No.
I stayed up
I
until
figured y'all be
around.
knocked out.
I didn't think I was gonna make it. I tried to go to sleep. Matter of fact, I tried to go to sleep around 11, and set my alarm clock for like 11:45. I couldn't do it. My mom came in and woke me up. She was like, "Nah,
like,
you're
"I
not.
gotta get up with
She's like,
these
you're
kids,
not leaving
too."
me with all these kids."
I don't blame her.
It was nice, some of Mason's friends came, and then Charlize was there for Mariah. All my nieces were there. It was a lot of fun. So I definitely have to thank my parents for opening up their home and just being so, I guess, forgiving of the children. Children were going crazy. I went to sleep around 2:30.
They were still up?
They were still up. My dad said, me and my mom both went to sleep and left the kids hanging on the chandeliers. I know he said he tried to put them to bed, but they said they still didn't go to bed till around 6 that morning. So it was a lot of fun.
Well, what time did they
12.
get up for breakfast?
Probably around 11. Yeah, around 11 o'clock. Yeah, my mom, she decorated. She went out and bought all the noise makers and the party hats. It was a lot of fun.
That's nice.
Midnight, we watched the countdown. Then we went outside and woke up all the neighbors screaming Happy New Year.
No, you did.
It was fun. Yeah, we did. It was a lot of fun. So again, I want to thank my parents for opening up their home and their hearts to the kids. Oh, mentioning, speaking about kids, we want to talk about my sister's
You better.
children's corner that she has on Tuesdays at 8:30, right?
I think it is 8.
Yeah, 8:30, and that's every once in a while. Well, usually every week we have a segment of our show that's dedicated to the student of the week where we feature children. But our whole hour is pretty much around it's centered around children and their accomplishments and the positive things that they are doing. So if you know a youth or a youth organization who wants to be a part of my sister's Congo's Children's Corner, you can give her a call at 218-8632. Again, that number is 218-8632. It may be a little bit later. We can put her number on the screen so that people can reach out to her.
Got one more other
yes,
thing
we
you
do.
better
Yes,
do.
we do want to say happy birthday to Aunt Flossie. She is celebrating her birthday today, I think. I hope it's today. I was supposed to show her picture last week. She said show it 2 weeks. She wanted to show last week
That's
and
Aunt
this
Flossie,
week.
too.
So I probably been forgetting
We have a
to.
picture of
I
her.
probably have been forgetting to show her birthday and to announce it for like the last 5 years. So I want to dedicate this whole show to Aunt Flossie and happy birthday. We do have a picture that we're going to show, and I'm going to give her picture to you afterwards so that you
To
can.
me?
Yes.
Oh,
'Cause
wait.
I cannot be
No.
responsible for it.
No, I was responsible for the last one. And
I lose
trust
it.
me,
I lose it every
misplaced
time.
it too.
It's all
But
right.
no, Trippy. You brought it, you
We're
take
gonna give it
it.
to Cleon. How about that? We're gonna give it to Cleon. Welcome to his initiation. All right. Happy birthday, Aunt Flossie.
Yes.
All right. I think my dad is coming.
He
He said he's
is.
coming, so we're gonna have Sammy's Corner around 8:30. But before that, we have Mr. Cleon Colley. He's gonna talk about his new venture.
Yes.
Welcome to the show.
Well, thank you. Thank you. Glad to be here.
What's going on, man? Tell me what's going on in your life.
Well, loving life. Last
right.
week was my last week as the chief of staff for Mayor Williams in the city of Wilmington.
Okay.
Great transition. I think there's still great things planned. My goal coming in was to assist and get them through the end of the year, get them through 2 budgets, make sure that the employees of the city got what they need. And now we have an opportunity to start a law firm.
Okay.
So it's full force, 2016. It begins, and I'm excited.
Okay.
Absolutely excited.
So give us some of your, give us your background before you even came with the city. Like, what were you doing?
So I've been a public servant since, quite frankly, I got out of high school. First, I went to the Army.
Okay.
When I got back from the Army, I went to school, graduated law school, and then since then held many governmental appointments throughout the state and the city.
Okay.
From a prosecutor in the AG's office, Newcastle County government, I was their land use attorney. I was the governor's, one of the governor's legal counsel. I ran the Department of Transportation. Then I came over to the city where I was the Public Works Commissioner and then Chief of Staff. And in between those roles, I got to serve in 2 firms, one Wolf Block, and my last firm was Morris James. So I'm going to culminate all those.
We should have said, what have you not done?
What I haven't done is started a law firm. So ever since I was a baby, a young man growing up, entrepreneurs have always intrigued me. Just what they're able to do for themselves, their families, and for their communities. So I knew at some point in my career, I was really trying to learn enough to become an entrepreneur, and now I think I'm ready. So
okay.
What will your law firm, what practice will you be doing?
Well, we don't want to stray too much from a community-based firm.
Okay.
So general practitioners, community-based, we think there's a lot of opportunity in personal injury. We think there's some opportunity representing folks in the criminal justice system. We also think there's an opportunity in education as well. So we'll focus in those areas. We'll focus on the community, and we'll continue to solve problems. So.
Oh, wow. You know what I want to do? I want to take a quick break because my dad is here early, and I know he wants to come on. And,
he's here early.
Yeah.
That's
he's usually
I know, right.
He usually doesn't come till about
Right,
8:30.
Cleon, thank you.
He comes stomping his feet.
He comes when it's time to come on.
Come on, Cleon.
I wasn't saying for them, I was saying for you.
We're going to take a quick break, and we're going to let my dad come on and be a part of the interview, okay?
Indeed, that would be great.
All right.
All right, that was a quick break so that we could get Mr. Congo up here on the set. As Trippy said, I'm sure he definitely has a lot to add to this conversation. So, welcome, Mr. C.
So glad to be here with this distinguished guest.
I know, right?
Tonight.
And the first of the year, our first guest.
Oh yeah, saw him on TV. I had my pajamas on, and I ran. I got him under my clothes. That
makes
so
2 of us.
impressive.
So we were just talking about your law firm. We were on your. What were we talking about? Your background, or
we talked about a little bit about my
Okay.
background,
All
and we were discussing what role I
All
thought the law firm could fit. I think there's a huge opportunity, I believe, in our community for a firm that comes out of the community. There's a lot of issues, as we all know, that our folks are dealing with daily, and I think we can cater a law firm to addressing those issues, while also looking at some of the progressive things that have been done with regards to technology over the last few years. So to be a high-tech firm that can create a really incredible service, but still address the needs of the community. So that's our goal, and we're going to be really aggressive about it.
So when you say that about addressing the community's needs, like what do you have in mind? Like,
A voice. I think a lot of times, at least in my career, spending a lot of times in government, you're fixing things, but you're fixing them behind the scenes.
Right.
This will give us a chance to step out and to be more vocal about the needs of individuals in the community, and it'll be a place for folks to come and really vent about their problems, and we can explain to them whether there's a legal remedy to those problems. So.
Okay.
That's good. I was just thinking as you were talking, like a lot of times we have aspirations in life that we want to do, and it's like you waited to the right time. Like this is definitely the right time for a law firm such as your law firm?
Thank you. I'm hoping I waited to the right time. The thing is, when you're in the process, and if you're doing a good job, I've been blessed to have a lot of great opportunities over the years, and every time I went into one of those opportunities, I went into them from the standpoint of what can I learn so that I can help others later. So I've really, every job I've ever had, I came in with my eyes open, and while I was delivering a service, I was also taking a lot of that information in, and now we're going to use that information to help others. So,
What did you learn, I guess, working in politics?
well, one, I love politics. I love strategy. I love the game of politics, and I think it fits very well from the legal standpoint because it opens up other opportunities. For instance, if you just go to law school and you just practice law and you never experience all of the political ends to the law, you may stop where current law exists, and you may say that's the end of the process. We can't do anything for you. But politics actually opens up a whole nother opportunity that the law might not be where it needs to be today, but it could be there tomorrow. And you really got to understand not just the laws that exist, but the laws that could exist. So that's a huge part of what I did, understanding how to get things through the system, how business leaders interact with governments, and how communities interact with governments, and what roles an attorney can play on both of those ends.
All right. So you're taking a leap of faith. I mean,
Absolutely.
You had a secure job with the city,
Absolutely.
chief of staff. So definitely going to wish you well.
Well, thank you.
So tell me, being in that secure position, and wanting to be, just have your own, just be an entrepreneur. Like, what do you think that transition is going to be like? What do you think it's going to take for you to be successful?
Well, I think it's a whole different muscle, and it's good that I'm sitting next to one of the greatest entrepreneurs that our state has ever seen.
Thank you, thanks, man. I appreciate that. Thanks, man. Thank you.
Two of the greatest, three. So I think it's really, from my perspective, going into that is that you're trying to build a different muscle, right? You can succeed in these other realms. You've succeeded in a law firm, working, quite frankly, for others and helping them, and you've succeeded in the government realm, helping others to succeed. And now the question is, can you succeed in this different realm with this different muscle? And a lot of the things that I've learned over the, managing folks, managing issues, managing budgets, those things will be, I think, very similar. Where it'll be different is having that entrepreneurial spirit to drive you, and literally the being able to push the boundaries of what you can create. And quite frankly, I'm looking forward to it. So,
what do you think sets you apart from other law firms?
Man, there's a laundry list. So what I'll say is, not to knock what other law firms do, but I think when you create something and you've been waiting and watching and listening and learning and working for those law firms, you can put your own spin on it to some extent. You can say, listen, we're going to start, quite frankly, with service. So we're not going to start with a dollar amount that we want to make, or how much of an image we want to do. We want to be customer service driven. So we're going to look at our clients and say, what are the needs of our clients? And that's what's going to drive us. If we can't deliver exceptional service, then quite frankly, I don't care how much money we're making, it's not going to be the business for me. We want folks to leave with every matter that we touch to say, you know what, they did everything humanly possible to help us. And we knew exactly what they were doing every step of the way. So it's going to be a lot of communication back and forth with our clients. Again, using technology to keep that dialogue going so they know every single step, and educating them about the process while we go through. So we won't come and tell folks, hey, this is what you need to do, if they don't understand exactly why we're doing it. So.
Good. Mr. C, while he was saying that, I was thinking about our Monday meetings that our morning meetings that we had. And that would be one of Mr. Congo's things when dealing with the families. He always told us it's not, they don't care what we know until they know that we care. So that
Absolutely.
sounds like exactly what you're doing. You'll take the clients, you'll educate them, as well as helping them out in the process.
Yeah, I always remember that I didn't know an attorney growing up until I went to law school, right? Like especially one that looked like me. I saw him on TV, but I didn't really get to sit down and understand even what the practice of law was until I was in law school. And I want to make sure that we're in the community and folks can reach out and touch us and say, hey, we have a question, or our kids have a question. I want to make sure that we have enough room that young folks who want to go down this path can come in during the summers or come in after school and actually learn what the practice of law is about. So we're going to be different because we are different. But you know, that difference is good, and we're looking forward to it.
Mr. C?
I'm just excited. And when you ask him about himself, you didn't include me. This is a team over here. Well, I guess when Trippy said something about having the courage to go out, I remember Dr. King saying, no matter where you put your business, whether it's in the deep, deep woods, if you have a good product, they'll make a beaten path to your door. And I think that there is a tremendous opportunity in this city to just do great things. And I was excited. I've always been excited about Lawyer Redding because he was a brave man and he took on challenges, and he really didn't worry about how the system wanted him to feel good. How, you know, that's not good English, but he did what was right, what he thought was great. And what I'm hearing is just that. And so I'm excited to know that people are going to now have a fair chance.
Yes.
Because so many of our people are that look like us, let's put the cards on the table, don't get a fair shot.
That's right.
And so our prisons, our people who have been treated wrong are not really given a fair shake, and sometimes the law is used against them to allow these things to happen because of a where people say it's politically expedient, and we want to get away from that. You know, it's time that we help our own folk, and I guess not getting away from your subject, which we really are not going to. We're going to have you on here every Sunday, making sure
Thank you.
that people understand and know that this law firm has to survive and has to do well.
Yes.
And we have to be, you know, when I was driving in here, you know, I get talking, you guys got to shut me down.
No.
When I was driving in here, I wondered, you know, how we can get the word out to people who are just laying there waiting to become valuable supporters to everything that happens in Wilmington, that they can lay a path for their grandchildren that makes their grandchildren proud of them, their children, their neighbors, and we can no longer just stay home and watch television or read the paper. We got to get out and do some things. And I was thinking about Lisa Blunt and Sherry, and we in Wilmington can be a part of history to send a Afro-American woman from Delaware to Washington.
Yes.
And we can send, in that kind of position, where there can be doors open for our community. And that's important.
Absolutely.
We have an opportunity for Sherry to be lieutenant governor, which is history in our state. So we can create history this year.
Yes.
And I'm going to have them on and encourage every person from 8 o'clock in the morning till midnight to have them on their TV so they can get the exposure that some people may miss on Sammy's Corner, but maybe on Marva's show or whoever's show it might be. We have to make sure that these people succeed, just like we have to make sure that this man succeeds and have the confidence in him that we've got to have. And there can be no colder ice anywhere than here. You know, his ice has to be the coldest in their minds,
Right.
and know that he's going to represent them well, better than anybody else, his whole law firm.
Break that analogy down, Dad. I don't want that to go over people's head. But-
You're
The
putting me on the
coldest
spot.
ice.
Is that what you want to
I
say?
mean, I will, but I know you can probably do a better job.
I
of it
can't
since
do
it's
it better
yours.
than you. You go ahead and show me. You got the
No,
technology.
I think, well, I know a lot of times in our communities, we look at other ethnic groups as having a better product than one that an African American might be supplying. Where just to be specific, we might think that we might discredit an African American lawyer or an African American entrepreneur because there's an Asian or a white person already doing it. So we think that person has a better product solely based on their color, and that's what we have to get away from. That's what you meant by that analogy, right?
You did it so much better than I could,
yeah,
because
yeah, but
I would
that's
have
important.
probably been so direct that it might have been offensive.
No, I mean that's true because we get I guess caught up in thinking that other ethnic groups are better or provide a better service than we are able to provide. Whether it's a lawyer like Cleon, whether it's a doctor or a dentist, funeral homes, whatever that business or entrepreneur, whatever he or she may be doing, we get caught up in thinking that this group does it better just because it's that group. So we can't continue to do that. We can't think that their ice is colder, pretty much.
Yeah, and I guess it wouldn't be so bad if it was reversed, but we will go to other ethnics believing that they provide a better service,
Right.
but we can't get other ethnic group people come to us with the assumption that we can do a better service,
Right.
so they shy away from us.
Right.
You know, we have examples where we've lived in a community for 30 years and been neighbors to people who knew that we were funeral directors that were not Afro-Americans, but when it came time to use our service, they would not use us.
Right.
And so if that is true, then we have to understand that keeps that social order strong. How do we keep our social order strong? We have to do it by helping the law firm that I will be a part of become strong, but by carrying your friends to his door. You know, not only referring. You know, nowadays when you go to the stores, the people who are working in the stores won't point. They take you to the product. We have to carry our friends to their door
Right.
and make sure whether we know him or not. You know, we have to say we know he's going to do a better job because he was on Sammy's Corner.
Absolutely.
So
And then I think that the second part of that is that once folks have enough faith to carry folks to our door, then we have a responsibility to provide an exceptional service, right? So to prove those folks who would think otherwise, and I don't think it's enough to be equal, quite frankly. I do
Correct.
think
That's
in the society and the world we live in, we have to be better.
Yes.
And to your point earlier of taking the time and making sure, and why wait so long? Like I've been out of law school for time, and I've worked in the state, in the county, in the city, and worked with 2 firms, learning, and that is because when we decided to come out and open our firm, we want to make sure that we are prepared to have exceptional service, not just good service, not okay service, not average, but great, incredible, better than most or better than all. And I think that's what we have to do, is to prove to folks that even if they hesitate coming, that they hear and they see what we're doing day in and day out.
Right.
And when they look, they say, you know what? If there's an opportunity to go to the Cawley firm, then that's where we're going to go. Period. Point blank. There's nobody else that can compete. So I think that's our job, appreciating folks having enough faith in us in the beginning to bring their needs to us, is that we've got to hit the ground rocking and rolling, and we've got to make sure that we're on top of our game. So,
Okay.
You're right. You have a responsibility to make sure that's done.
absolutely.
You can't say in your firm, well, you should have come to me, or I wish I knew. You have to make sure that anybody that comes through that door has what you say, exceptional service, exceeding any expectancy of a person. All those kinds of things that make this whole city, the county, buzz. I don't care, and I'm not talking in terms of your law firm just servicing minority Afro Americans. I think that you'll do an exception whether it's any other ethnic group. So I want to make sure that when I'm talking, we're not geared just to any specific ethnic group.
Wait a minute. Wait, I know. You leaving us out, Mr. Sid?
Right now, yeah. Maybe we can bring you guys on later. I'm excited. I didn't know that you were going to do that, and so I just stopped talking a little bit because I just feel like a big opening in the sky, and I see a great big new sun, knowing
Thank you.
that. And I talked to you earlier about
Absolutely.
that.
I got to give credit where credit is due. It was a few years ago before I came to the city, when I was working at one of the law firms, and we went out to lunch, and you asked me, you said, why do you, I think you said exactly like this, why do you brothers always go to the law firms? Why wouldn't you just open your own? And I honestly didn't have a good answer for you. I stumbled over the question, and before that conversation I thought about it, and after that conversation I thought a lot about it. Why don't we just open our own? And I think some of it is the fears that we were just talking about. What is the perception of others? Am I good enough? Am I great enough? We struggle with that. And then at the end of the day, because I didn't have a good answer to your question, I said, you're right. We should open our own. There's no good reason why we don't. And if I have to be one of the few that's jumping out to do it so that others will do it as well, I'm happy to do it. And I know that means you'll get some bumps and scrapes along the way, but I know the sky's the limit. So giving credit where credit is due, thank you for having that conversation and many others with me over the years and planting that seed. I appreciate it.
Well, I think that Wilmington deserves what you folks can bring to it.
I agree.
And so, and not only them, I will be a part of your group.
Thank you.
In terms of a customer, I won't be a good lawyer, but I just want to be able to say that you guys handle all of my affairs.
Well, thank you.
And not that I'm putting my present lawyer down.
Understood.
But he's an African American, and I think he's talking about retiring. So I'm going to need another guy or another group, because I think you have to serve everything. We got to be able to say, just like if you went to one of the big law firms in Wilmington that has 150 attorneys, you know, they handle all sides of everything. And I think that there's enough work that we have in our community that your firm could reach out.
And our goal is not to focus on just one thing.
Okay.
We want to be a general law firm that handles all of your matters, and that's why it's not just Cleon Cawley. It's the Cawley firm, because we want to grow. We want others to grow. We want to nurture young attorneys and bring them in and give them an opportunity to fall in love with the law like I did. And even before they know that they want to be attorneys, like I was saying earlier, we want to bring young folks in and show them the good side of the law. So often we see the negative side of the law. We want to show them the positive side of the law. And we think it could be a great thing for the city of Wilmington, but quite frankly, we believe this is a great opportunity for the whole state. So we're looking forward to it.
You know, I think there are so many people, if they knew that they could be a part of such a group, that they would, I'll give you an example. A friend of mine needed a lawyer, and he hired the lawyer, but his girlfriend did a better job than the lawyer. I mean, she worked hard, she stayed up all night studying the law. She couldn't go and say what, if she had had an opportunity to have a law degree and be a lawyer, the guy didn't get what he should have gotten because the lawyer prevented him from getting it. But if she had things to say, then he would have gotten more. That's how serious it is that a layman was able to produce, and then the courts left her out. They wouldn't let her go into to the room.
But that's one of the, I think, a huge part of the legal practice that we don't get into enough. Everyone wants to act like, oh, the law is this thing that's up on some mountain that only, you know, those with law degrees can access. But that's not true. With the internet, with the libraries, we can bring the law to children, to adults who want to learn. You have to be an attorney to go into court, but there's no reason that everyone shouldn't have a really great understanding of what the law is, no matter what they do. And I think we can play a huge part in that. For the last probably 15 years now, I've spent, every summer I go to DC and we bring kids from all across the country, from urban areas, to teach them the law. And we spend 2 weeks teaching them trial, we teach them criminal law, we teach them civil law, just all aspects. And you would be amazed at how much these young folks who might not know anything at all about the law know at the end. I mean, literally reciting back to you verse for verse evidence law. And that's because you open them up to it. You say, you know what, it's not on a mountain, it's not in the sky. You can touch it, you can see it. These stories you hear about on TV, go read about it. Pull up the case law. Figure out why one went one way and one went another way, and what the judge was thinking. It's not rocket science. And then, as from a firm perspective, I think it starts again with that customer service. So if you're really trying to serve someone, you got to understand what they need and what they want. Even before you get to the law, you got to understand the person or the people that you're serving. And that's what we want to do. We want to figure out exactly what the needs of the community. And when I say community, it's the broader community that we're serving. And when you figure out those needs, then you go back to the law and you say, okay, how can the law help us execute what you need? And here's where the politics come in. And if it doesn't help us execute what you need, how do we create the law this year, next year, 3 years down the road? Let's have a strategy to create the law that gets you what you need. So for me, it's hardly ever a no. It's a how do we get there and when is the answer. So there's a lot of things we can do. We won't be just in an office somewhere. We will be out in the community. Yes, we want folks to come to us, but we'll be coming to others, whether it be churches, business offices, corners, telling folks that we exist, and asking them how we can help.
I'm just excited about this whole 2016.
Absolutely.
You're one of them with your firm, Lisa,
Absolutely.
Sherry, and other politicians that I think once folks like Trippy, who has surely been at one time the only one that voted in a certain way. And I don't want to say something because Trippy's my son. I want to say that we got to have some kind of commitment, and we have to stand up for something.
Absolutely.
And so, I want 2016 to encourage politicians that are just not there for egos and that kind of stuff, but there to serve, as you mentioned, that you want to do, and not there to satisfy his buddy that's sitting next to him. Well, Sammy, will you go this way with me? Now, there's times when things happen, but that should be rare, because you should be there for your community who elected you to serve them. When you go into your firm, this community is going to choose you because they chose you to represent them.
Absolutely.
And so then there will be many, many other people who will be proud of you and proud of themselves as a result of being a part of the process.
Well, thank you.
And so I look forward to it. And, if we can kick Trippy out of the second floor, you might have a law firm there. What do you think, Wayne?
No, I told you the spot to go to. How you gonna kick Trippy out?
Well, I don't know.
Happens every time.
I can't
Every
believe
time.
it.
It's just over there next to somebody and forgets all about me. That's all right, though. All right, well, we don't have a lot of time. We'll probably need to go to break. I'm not sure if you have any closing words, Cleon.
No, I just want to thank you for your support over the years. Thank you for having me on. It's great to be the first one of the new year. I'm excited about this endeavor, and I'll keep you up to speed on all of the challenges and ordeals, but also all of the success that we have over the years. So thank you all.
You'll be a regular.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, indeed.
You're a regular.
Regularly. I just want to wish you, like I said earlier, man, just wish you all the best. I know you're going to be successful.
Yes.
I'm just kind of getting to know you over the last couple of years in, the city of Wilmington politics. Just sitting back, and honestly, of course, I didn't say this before, but just being amazed of how quickly you just grasp things and able to understand. And when you were over in Public Works, and you would come to the budget meetings and different meetings, and I would just sit back and listen to you. I was just honestly, I was just like in awe of how you were able just to come on board so quickly and just get a hold of it and kind of steer it in the right direction. We didn't always agree, but I could never question your ability to be excellent in whatever position that you were in. And then when you went over to be the chief of staff of the mayor, you did the same thing. And I'm just sitting there like, wow. I might not agree with what he's saying, but wow, you know what I mean? Just the way that you were able just to go in there and again, just be excellent. And so I know you're going to be excellent in your firm. So hats off to you.
Well, thank you.
Come on, honestly, come on whenever you want.
I appreciate it. I appreciate it. I should say that all the things that I achieve has less to do with me and more with the team and the folks I put around me. What I've learned over the years is if you put a good team around you, they'll let you soar. So that's the goal with the firm, is to go and find the brightest and the best and bring them in and to get out of their way, quite frankly, and let them do great things. So thank you.
All right. We do have, we have been putting your information up, your contact information up periodically during the show. So we're going to ask Abby to put that back up during break. And we'll be right back with our community news and our funeral announcements.